Let's turn it over to Brett Tolman. He's the former U.S. attorney. So, Brett, what do you think this document actually is?
Jesse, thanks for having me on. You know, a document like this really comes down to one thing in my mind, and this is probably an FBI 302 investigative report. And I say that because the whistleblower, in order to make the connection and to assess that it's credible information like Senator Grassley has assessed, means that they had to have sat down with whoever's providing the information. And you're not going to do that without making sure you get every detail you can from someone. So my guess is, Jesse, someone called up the FBI and said, hey, we have legitimate evidence that Joe Biden received a payment in exchange for some policy decision, and we want to come talk to you. So they did, and they gave that report, and somebody saw that and noticed that nothing was being done with it and has come forward and informed Senator Grassley and Representative Comer.
So we don't know what foreign country we're dealing with. It could be China. It could be Ukraine. What kind of action would the vice president be wheeling and dealing for with a country like a Ukraine or a China?
Yeah, think about how rare it is to have a whistleblower to come forward and, from DOJ or the FBI. It's incredibly rare. They would have to have very solid information that when they're coming forward, they're not embarrassed about it, or they're not concerned about the credibility. So here, the countries at issue, certainly the Ukraine and China. But remember, when Joe Biden bragged about getting rid of a prosecutor that was looking at the Burisma company that Hunter Biden was a board member, it could be something like that, and that would be considerably expensive in order to get the vice president to take such action on a national stage as he did. And then he bragged about it. So if it's like that, that would be significant money.
Can you cover something like this up? Grassley says the White House might just classify the document and we'll never, ever see it.
Yeah, his comments are significant. It's a warning shot to the White House to don't play games on this. And this is not one you want messing around. You don't want to mess around with Chuck Grassley. I'm going to tell you that. He is like a pit bull. He will stay on an issue. He's on the substance. He doesn't care about the politics. And he's warning them, don't play politics with it. Even if they do, though, if they do classify this, Chuck Grassley has the ability, the intelligence committees on both the House have the ability to review those documents in a skiff. And so at some point, somebody outside of the White House and DOJ has to look at these documents. What
does it mean to you that the FBI has just been sitting on something this explosive?
I am, it's mind-boggling to me, Jesse, because it's not just explosive. This is enormous information that would have immediately gone to the Attorney General himself and to Director Wray. Now, once that happens, if the decision was made to stall, to bury this, or to buy time, that could only come from Director Wray or Attorney General Merrick Garland.
They have this silly rule, no big investigations during elections. We're in an election. We're always in an election, Brett. Is that the excuse they're going to use? Right.
Yeah, 4 years out now, we can bear it. I remember receiving a information that a sitting congressman was violating the law. You know who wanted action immediately? The Department of Justice, when I was U.S. Attorney. So somewhere between 15 years ago and now, we've got a Department of Justice that doesn't seem to care about our elected officials, whether they're corrupt or not.
Some do, though, because there are whistleblowers coming forward. It's the top brass that looks like they're keeping a lid on this thing, and that's what's scary. Brett, thank you so much for your insight. We're going to talk to Grassley about this as soon as possible.